Right, 7 March 2021, and today I want to quickly go through a very strange case that happened last week, and this is to do with the arrest of Dr. Smelly Dube in Gweru. So Dr. Smelly Dube was arrested, and when it happened, we received information that she had collapsed and she had received threats from Owen Mugabbe and July Moyo. So I was surprised to receive that information to say she just collapsed because she received these threats. And I tried all my best to find out why Owen Mugabbe and July Moyo would be threatening Smelly Dube to the extent that she would collapse and end up in hospital. So as we speak right now, as far as the information that I have is concerned, Dr. Smelly Dube is at Claybank Hospital in Gweru, and the prosecutors on Friday attempted to charge her from her hospital bed where she is in a coma. So this is the information that I got. Then the lawyers had to argue that you cannot charge someone who is in a coma. So very, very interesting case. And I want to dig a little bit deeper so that we all understand why she has been arrested, what she's being charged with, and the political reasons behind the charges. So currently, the reason why Smelly Dube was arrested is because she's being charged for fraud. She is said to have received land from government officials, and then she sold that land as stands to people. So approximately the first piece of land, I think it relates to about 1,000 people, and that is in Gweru. It's called Woodlands. So that is 669 stands in Woodlands and 1,000 stands in Zhishavane, and then about 500 stands in Shurugwi. And the interesting part is all this happened in 2007, in 2012, and in 2013. So these cases are about 10 years old. So whatever she's being charged for is about 10 years old. And as far as I'm concerned, this is a political case. It's not a real case. But let's go through what has happened. So Jonathan Moyo came out this week when she was arrested and said she's being arrested because she's a close ally of Grace Mugabe. And if you dig a bit deeper, you'll find that Smelly Dube is someone who was very close to G40. In fact, she was also very close to Mnangagwa. She was openly opposed to Mnangagwa. She was openly opposed to Owen Mugabbe, I think when he was an MP, and she was also openly opposed to July Moyo. In fact, there were demonstrations that she funded against Mnangagwa, against July Moyo, and they openly fought Mnangagwa and his team with people like Mpoko. In fact, when she was honored, when she got her honorary doctorate, Mpoko, Malinga, and all other people, they attended that gathering, and she was openly a G40 person, a supporter of Grace Mugabe. So let's look at the charges here. So she's got 3 counts that she's facing. As I said, the first one is to do with 669 stands in Gweru at Woodlands Farm. So that is a stand which was signed for. This farm, she got this farm. It was signed for by Sifas Musipa. I think he was one of the ministers there. Then for the second count, so if you go to gambabo.com, you will see the original documents. I've uploaded the original document. If you go to gambako.com, she's facing a second fraud charge amounting to $6 million US. And this is to do with Mabula Farm A in Zhishavane. And the amount here is 6 million. They are saying that she prejudiced people to the amount of $6 million US. And the governor who signed here is Governor Jason Machaya. Similarly, there is a farm in Shurugwi called Magakushla Farm. And she also got an offer letter here from Jason Machaya. And they're saying that the prejudice to people was the amount of $3 million US. So as I said, you can see the original document at gambako.com where the charges are being given or are being put to her. But because she's in a coma, she can't talk, she can't move, she is unable to sign the charges, and the lawyers are saying she cannot then be charged. Now, let's look at who is Smelly Dube. Smelly Dube is the founder of a company called River Valley Properties. She is claiming, or she has claimed in the past, that she has developed 10,000 stands around Zimbabwe. She's a philanthropist, and she got her honorary doctorate from an institution in the United Kingdom. And when I looked at her, I've looked at the work that she did as a philanthropist, going to old people's homes, going to children's homes around Gweru. She was doing a lot of work, and I think she's got a lot of grassroots knowledge. And given where she is in the Midlands, so the areas around Gweru, Shurugwi, Zhishavane, she's in the same area. And in fact, Kwekwe, she's playing in the same area where Mnangagwa wants to have influence or wants to keep influence. This is why you see that she's clashing with Owen Mnangagwa and with July Moyo, who are the lieutenants of Mnangagwa. So the fight between Grace Mugabe, G40, and Mnangagwa's people has started in the Midlands. And I think they've decided that she is a threat. She needs to be eliminated. So the arrest of Smelly Dube, very, very significant. It is an attack on whatever build-up that Grace Mugabe is trying to make in the Midlands. However, it could backfire if Smelly Dube right now was to fail to wake up from this coma. This would have a very serious repercussions for Mnangagwa and his people. It will appear like they actually caused a death. So I don't know what is going to happen. And I hope that on Monday we'll get more clarity, because one of the lawyers is Prophet Advocate Joshua. So I hope I'll be able to ask him, how is her condition? How is she doing? I haven't managed to talk to him. And I think what Grace Mugabe has been trying to do is she has decided that she cannot launch a frontal attack on Mnangagwa. So she has probably been building from the base, from the grassroots. And Mnangagwa has discovered what Grace Mugabe has been up to. Because as you remember, Grace Mugabe said she'll be back in 3 years' time. And she's going to deal with Mnangagwa within 3 years. So as we move towards the elections, there's obviously going to be more things happening. And if you look back at what happened on 31st of July, something was happening, but that was neutralized. However, I think something new is also starting to happen in the Midlands, and we're going to start seeing another factional fight. The question that I have is, if Grace Mugabe is starting to build up, who is going to be in front? I do not think there's anyone who is brave enough to openly challenge Mnangagwa. So for many of you who have not heard Smelly Dube speak, I've got a small snippet here of her when she was doing some donations at an old people's home, so that you can just hear how she speaks.
asi zvikungotiwo zvekuti ijuti redu kana takaempauwa kana Mwari akatipa kuti tidzoserewo kune vamwe. So tangoti nezvishoma grosari rekuti vakumetron mumbochovha ndofunga ufuta uya ne 100 kg handiti zvinhu zvese kuti zvimwedzi pandozodzoka kuzowedzera mune mambochovha.
Right, so that is Smelly Dube, the founder and CEO at River Valley Properties, arrested this week over 3 farms, one of them from Msipa and 2 of them from Machaya. This happened almost 10 years ago, and I'm sure that this is all linked together with the G40. She was very, very close to G40. She was, in fact, a funder of all the activities that were happening against Mnangagwa, ranging from 2016 up to the time when Robert Mugabe was finally removed from power. She was one of the key funders of Grace Mugabe. Now, I want to go to Kumblani here. Kumblani says, yeah, Grace Mugabe has a house in Woodlands. Well, now we know how she got that house. And then we don't want that war, and it will never happen. I don't know what war, but I think basically what I'm trying to say here is Mnangagwa has decided to neutralize Smelly Dube, and Smelly Dube put out information and had people that July Moyo and Owen Mnangagwa were threatening her. That is why she went into that coma. And the way we received that information was also the same, that she was threatened. But I'm not sure why they would threaten her and why she would collapse and go into a coma. What was such a bad threat that a seasoned businesswoman like Smelly Dube would go into a coma and not wake up since last week, as she is right now? She's at Clearbank Hospital. So I'll give you an update on this issue. I've uploaded the court documents for you, the police charges on gambago.com. Go and have a look. These are old cases, and I do not understand the strategy here from a legal point of view. But I think from a political point of view, it's clear that Mnangagwa wants to neutralize the influence of Smelly Dube in Midlands, in the areas around Gweru, Shurugwi, Zhishawane. And if you see what he's doing also, going after Nelson Chamisa's people, like Lillian Timvias in Zhishawane, it means there's a bigger strategy. Areas around Kwekwe, Mnangagwa wants to strengthen his base in those areas around Midlands so that he can totally win when the next election comes, and he doesn't want any surprises. So this is probably part of the strategy for Mnangagwa to even go far ahead of Nelson Chamisa in the next election, if Chamisa is to contest at all, or if the elections are going to be held. Because there's been a lot of talk about the elections being postponed from 2023. Eventually, we might end up having the elections in 2030. And if that was to happen by 2030, I don't think Mnangagwa will be qualifying for a second term. So he will freely have his 2 terms without any challenge. And that would be probably the best thing that he wants to see to be able to implement his programs. So I think that's all I wanted to say today. Smelly Dube in hospital and facing 3 counts, all of them amounting up to about $10 million over 3 farms that she received between 2007 and 2013. Right, thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow with Mr. Tinashe Jonasi. We want to talk about the sanctions. The United States hit Zimbabwe with new sanctions. What is happening there? Why is Mnangagwa not managing to get those sanctions out, or to convince the United States and UK to remove those sanctions? So thank you very much for watching, and good night.